Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Yeah, here we are. 10 minutes late. It's a good thing this is going to be the last week I'm doing this because I'm getting later and later with my start times as the weeks go by. I'm checking my phone to see the date. Hi, thank you for waiting. Sorry, I'm late. I'm late because I actually was going to try to include something to use in this opening screenshot. When I get started on class, I have to do a thumbnail screenshot every time to start a live stream. And I was going to have something I could hold up telling people to go to swellyogastudio.com to check out the new website for the studio that I'm opening. Anyway, I couldn't pull that off in time, and it was causing me to get later and later. So I just gave up. It's June 22nd, Monday, the day after the summer solstice, midsummer, which is one of my favorite days of the year. But it's also a little sad because that means now starting today and through till December, the days sunlight's going to get less and less. So happy midsummer, happy summer solstice. And we've got one more week here with Red Pants Yoga. So I'm really feeling very present and excited to be here for the live streams this week because I'll miss it. I'm going to miss this, but it's just been a lot to be able to do this and try to get that studio open. So figuring it out as I go. But we'll get started this morning with our Bikram series, 26 postures. I'll back myself up here and meet you on the mat. Make sure you have some water and a mat, or no mat if you don't have a mat. So let me back it up. Things good in the screen. It's a little crooked. I don't know if I can do anything about that or not. Make sure you can see everything behind me. It feels weird today. Boy, I'm ready to teach real people in a real studio. I mean, not that you guys aren't real, but I mean live people. Because this live streaming technology thing is not my strongest of abilities. Okay, I think we're good. So let's begin our Bikram practice. Carmen, are you laughing at me? You are laughing at me. Good. I'm also laughing at me. I'm trying to get the microphone facing the direction it's supposed to, but not in the shot. Okay. There's a reason I didn't go into like movie production. Okay. So we meet here on our mats. Have a laugh if you need one, or cry if you need one, but just meet me here standing comfortably for standing deep breathing. Oh, take a breath and let it go, and just arrive wherever you are. Be in this moment. Let's cross the fingers together, press the webbing together, and just tuck it comfortably under our chins here. So stand, hands together, elbows pointing down to the floor. Rock a bit back and forth on your feet from front to back and side to side, and just feel a centering on your feet. Meet yourself in the middle so that you feel nice and sturdy over your feet. I really make a point to do that because it's something we don't do a lot during the day, and it's like our foundation. So this can be the moment that we check in with it. So nice, strong legs, but not tense. Pull the belly in, relax the shoulders down and away from the ears, and just think of this spot where your knuckles are meeting your chin and your thumbs pressed there against the neck. It's just a little resting space for everything else. So let's take another deep breath here together. Let out all the air first. We'll let it all go. And then inhale. And exhale. Keep the eyes open and inhale. Elbows up to the ceiling. Chin, just rest on that shelf your knuckles are making, and then exhale, elbows wrap around towards the front, and chin gets pushed gently back. Keep the eyes open, look up at the ceiling now. Let all the air go. Inhale everything in. Bring it all in, elbows up and lift out of the waist. And exhale, open mouth exhale. Look up at the ceiling, elbows come around and touch each other if possible in the front, or at least facing the front. Inhale, drop the chin, elbows up. As you inhale, feel yourself lift out of the waist. And then exhale, gently push the chin back. This isn't a back bend, so keep your spine straight. It's just your chin going back. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Make these your deepest breaths yet. Inhale, lips are closed, but if you can keep your throat open and kind of sound like Darth Vader there on those inhales, go for that. And then exhale, open mouth. Last one here. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, let that go. I don't know about you, but that already brought my energy level to a better neutral place than the kind of frantic energy I was feeling to get started. That's what it's all about on that standing deep breathing. Okay, let's inhale, arms up for half moon pose, and take our warm up by bending side to side on the side to side stretch. And when we move into it for the longer posture, just make sure it's all along your side body that you feel it most. And what I mean by that is just if you keep your shoulders and hips square and don't tilt in any direction, but just go straight side to side. That's that nice side body stretch. And again, we don't think of it often, so it's a nice time to let it go and do it. Okay, take your back bend if you want, just a little small back bend and a little opposite forward fold. Walk out the knees in that fold if you need to. It feels good for me to do that. So warm it up with the spine. So first we're asking our spine to do, if you're joining me in the morning anyhow, for some of you joining later in the day, maybe you've already done a round of yoga. So, okay, back up, hands together, steeple grip, cross those fingers, let go of the index fingers, biceps strong by the ears, but at the same time, that means it can mean that you tense your shoulders up. I don't want you to tense your shoulders up. So even as biceps are strong by the ears, let the shoulders roll back, shoulder blades down the spine, and that might create more of a micro bend in the arms, which is fine. It's that straight kind of hyperextending that you could do with the elbows there and hunching the shoulders up that really gives you straight arms. But we would rather have the micro bend and relaxed shoulders than working on the arms being that straight. Index fingers pointed to the ceiling, belly in, and let's just inhale out of the waist, come on up towards the ceiling, straight up, and then exhale and gently fold over to the right. And feel that stretch along the left side body as you fold to the right. And it's easy to think of this fold as the upper body coming down, but also think of the left hips shooting out to the side. And that's where you'll bring your legs into this and give yourself that nice crescent moon shape where this pose gets its name, half moon. Oh, very good. Shoulders and hips square to the mirror, and a cue there to kind of really make sure shoulders are square is to take the left armpit in and open it up more towards the ceiling. And come back and forth however you need to. By that I mean in and out. So inhale, find more length. Exhale, find your fold. And once you've reached the depth of this fold, just hold it there for a moment, nice and strong, and change. Inhale, come up. Take a breath, reset in this neutral position. Maybe change the cross of your fingers if you want, but keep those index fingers free and pointing towards the ceiling, biceps strong, belly in, shoulders back away from the ears. Inhale all the way up, and exhale, fold now to the left. So gentle falling over to the left side with your upper body. Think of pushing the hips out to the right to get your legs into this. And that tilt, the legs tilt and are angled towards the right, but the upper body balances it out by falling to the other side. Makes that crescent moon shape. And to make sure shoulders are square to the front by lifting, finding some lift in that right armpit towards the ceiling. Breathe here, come in and out as you need. Inhaling up and out of it just a bit to relieve some tension, exhaling into the fold. And then when you've reached the depth, find one breath where you can just hold it intensely, and then we'll change and come up, neutral. Okay, let's inhale out of the waist, lift the chest. Arms are still strong. This is a great arm workout to keep the arms engaged and strong this entire time. Lift the chest, lift the chin up towards the ceiling, and start to push the hips out. Again, the hips create an opposite force from what the upper body is doing, and this is going to create a crescent moon shape from the side now as you lift the chest and begin to bend and fold back into a back bend, pushing the hips forward. Change, come on up, neutral position, keep a micro bend in the knees or a deep bend as you fold down into your first forward fold of the practice. Once you get about halfway, you can drop the hands to the floor or to your shins. Again, in a forward fold, I personally really need to walk my knees, pedal my legs out by bending a knee and kind of pedaling it down to loosen up my legs as I let gravity pull the upper body down. So we're headed to that forward fold. Bend the knees enough that you can rest the belly on the knees. That allows you to let the head and neck go while protecting your spine. Shake out your head, shake it no, nod it yes. That lets the neck go. Legs are strong. You can keep your hands on the floor or take a grip behind you, hanging onto the calf or sliding down to the ankles, even stepping your heels in your cupped palms if you want that type of grip. But wherever you are, the grip will help you pull against your own legs to pull your upper body down as you lift the hips high to the ceiling. Breathe here, keep your eyes open, look in that space, look at the wall behind you and the space between your calves. Breathe, breathe. Find a way to be comfortable upside down here as your hips work to be higher and higher, legs straighter and straighter as you can, but keep your belly pressed against those thighs. Okay, change, let go of the grip, bring your arms back by your ears and use all of that force together to inhale yourself up. Exhale, arms down to your side. Take a breath here. Okay, let's move into Utkatasana, awkward pose. 3 parts to this one. Inhale, arms up, straight out from your shoulders. And just like the last pose, we're gonna keep arms engaged and strong and out the whole time, even as we move around through the 3 phases or 3 stages of this posture. So arms out and step the feet 6 inches apart. I'm doing a little warm up with my toes right now. I'm coming high on one toe at a time. I went on a very long bike ride yesterday and every part of my body is a little stiff right now. So everything from the toes to the ankles. Okay. So we're prepared here to sit back in our chair. Just inhale, find length, relax the shoulders away from the ears, lift the chest, pull the belly in, and then sit back in your chair. Sit back, booty back behind you towards the wall behind you, and your arms are creating an opposite force, pointing out straight in front of you, like someone's pulling on your arms in the front. Counter that with this booty going way to the back And then just peek down at your toes and make sure you can lift them off the mat and you can see them, that your knees aren't blocking them. Look at your toes, lift them off the mat. That makes sure the weight's on the heels and the balls of your feet. Sit back deeper, pull arms harder, change. Awesome job. Come on up all the way high onto your tiptoes. This is where you can stay. I'm like wobbling out of it immediately, again, because of those, my feet in particular, just stiff, all little bones. We have so many bones in our feet, and all of mine feel like they're completely stuck together right now. So come up high on your toes like a ballerina. I'm gonna stay here, just being on my toes. Stay here with me, or if you want, bend the knees and begin to sit back in that chair again on your toes. So heels are lifted as high off the mat as they can get. That really creates a stretch in the front of the ankles. I am high, balancing toes, balls of my feet here. You may be sitting back, whatever you want to do. And change will come down together, down on the heels, but arms are still engaged. Take a minute to kind of just feel that relief in your toes and ankles, but then we come right back up on our heels, 1 inch off the ground, heels 1 inch off the ground, knees together. Toes and knees are pointed towards the front, but knees come together, hips stay square, and then just slide down like you're sliding down a wall behind you. Lower yourself. Heels are just 1 inch off the ground. And try to bring your booty down towards your heels, but don't rest it on them. If you rest on them, come back up 1 inch. And in this practice, some people like to actually just hover up and down, bounce a bit up and down to turn on those legs. Okay, change, come on up. And then exhale, let everything go. Take a breath here, catch your breath. And we move into our last of these first 4 introductory postures into eagle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right arm under left. You can kind of give yourself a hug and stay right here. Right arm is under left, left is on top. Feet are together. If you want to continue a bind with your arms, wrap them together like ropes down the center line of your body. Fingers line up towards your face. Elbows are crossed, forearms wrap, wrist, everything. And then I like to do a little mobility work in my shoulders here by lifting my arms first, lifting elbows all the way up to the face. But with this particular eagle pose, we do want to bring it right back down towards the center line of the body. Think of lining your elbows up with your navel even, and then sit back in that same chair that we've been working with. Come up high on your toes on the right, strong standing leg on the left, and then with control, bring that right leg up as high as you can get it before you cross it over the left. Squeeze thighs together, squeeze arms together, balancing on the left foot here for eagle. You can drop the right toes for a kickstand if you're wobbling or having trouble with balance. Or if you want to keep working on a bind, you can think of bringing those right toes back towards around the back of the left calf. But if it causes your knees to go to the left or your hips to tilt, let go of it, bring it back out, because you really want knees to be right on your elbows in one line. And that requires a lot of flexibility in the right ankle to be able to further wrap those toes. I don't quite have it on this side like I do the other. Okay, one more thing, back down in the chair. The lower you get, the more it helps that balance. Squeeze everything together and let go. Change, walk it out. Nice strong work, you guys. Okay, inhale, arms up, and then on the exhale, switch sides now. So now I've got my right arm on top, left arm on bottom. Can stay in this hug or wrap those arms. Find a nice tight grip. Elbows, forearms, wrist. Inhale, arms up if you like to work the shoulders a bit. And this is in a vinyasa eagle. More traditional to have arms lifted this way, but for bikram, you can bring them up and then bring them back down. Elbows towards the navel in one straight line, center of the body. Sit back in the chair. Now we come up high on the left toes so that we build a strong foundation on the right leg. Elbows pulled into the navel. Think of bringing that knee as high as you can, even maybe touch the elbows before you wrap left leg over right. So here, squeeze the thighs together. Sit back in your chair, balancing on the right leg. Drop the left toes as needed, but even if you drop them and find balance and sit deeper, you can work on balance even more by lifting them back up. Just go back and forth, experiment. Think of wrapping those left toes around the back of the right calf if you want. If it causes your knees or hips to tilt or go sideways, back off that. Sit a little lower, squeeze everything in. Change. Let it go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let it go. Exhale. And now you can take a nice water break. That was a great opening sequence. I had us hold things a little longer and really work the strengthening there. So good job. All right. I'm going to open a window, take a sip, and we'll move into the next set. Okay. Balancing or standing head to knee. I'm sorry, we're headed to standing head to knee. Meet me in the middle of the mat here. Take the breath, arrive, be present. And remember on this one that we want to start with palms facing out. And what that does or asks us to do is take our shoulders and rotate those back and lift the chest. And that's a sign that you're standing with the shoulders in good alignment when palms are facing out, or at least thumbs are facing the front as opposed to turned in towards you. So find that beginning hand positioning. It really helps with the balance here as we stand strong on the left leg and inhale, right knee up. Bring the right knee up, leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. Knee comes as high as your hip crease, doesn't need to go any higher than that and can be lower. In fact, if you're still just starting and you're working in just kind of the first phase, just come up high on your toes. Anytime we do a balance, if you're not quite there with lifting it off, because that takes a little leap of faith and overcoming some fear, just come up on your toes, go to where you need to be, and then just stand on one leg if you'd like. Stand right here and work on this core strength that you're doing by holding that leg up. If you want to keep coming a little further with me, we'll inhale out of the waist, just creates a little length and space so that we can exhale over that standing leg and find a grip with your hands, whether it's along your calf, ankle, or on the foot as I'm doing now. If you can reach the foot comfortably, lower body has met the leg, still at the hip crease, catch it with a basket weave grip and just hold it there. I'm going to stay here today and just really be mindful of pulling my belly button in to create space in the lower back. If you want to take it further, you can stand up just a bit from this position, about 2 inches, and then slide the heel in front of you. I'm staying here in stage 2 and wobbling around and pulling the belly in. So just find out where you want to be. And then we'll change and we'll all come out of it together, no matter where we work. Just come out slowly and with control in each stage. And we'll move into the other side. So find your neutral stance here. Feet together to start, palms face the front. Strong foundation on that standing right leg. And inhale, left knee up. And again, if you're working on balance, still just come up high on the left toes first. And then work on taking that leap of faith and lifting the leg, setting it back down, whatever you need to do. There's no final destination here in any of these postures. Okay, so stay here, or if you want to join me, find length out of the waist. Gives you space to fold down, chest meets that lifted leg. And find your grip along the calf, ankle, or on the foot. Gaze is just straight ahead at one spot you can focus on. Catch it, catch your foot in the basket weave grip if you've got it. Pull the belly button in. I'm gonna stay right here. If you wanna keep going, lift yourself up about 2 inches, upper body up about 2 inches, and slide that heel straight out in front of you. Okay, change. Let's back out wherever we are. Take a breath, let it go, and we move into dancers. So I turn face the side. I don't know if it helps to do that when you're viewing or not, but I'll be on the side, wiping sand off my mat. Find a focal point, soft gaze at whatever it is you want to keep your steady gaze on. Your body will go where your eyes do, so don't let them drop too low. Again, start with palms facing out. Inhale, left arm up, and turn the right hand so that the palm is out to receive the foot. And then just bring that right foot back and meet it with your palm. If you've practiced with me regularly, you know that I kind of like to take a warm up with my hips, and especially make sure my glutes are turning on by doing this back and forth movement just a bit before. I do it about 3 times before I meet my foot with my palm. Strong right here. Already asking the front side of that right thigh to open up. So just stay there or begin to kick back. Right foot and right hand, strong on the left leg. I'm not gonna go far today, I can feel that already. So I'm just gonna slowly kick that foot into the hand, fire up the right glute as you kick back. And just breathe. Keep the belly in strong. And change. Let it go. We'll turn to the other side. Standing strong on the right, on the right foot now. Turn the left palm out and inhale, right arm up. So find your positioning there. Chest is lifted, but belly is in. And again, we'll meet that left foot now on the left hand, but I'm going to do this kind of hip opener and warm up about 3 times before they meet. Feel that stretch in the front of the left leg in the quadriceps. All right, you can hold it right here, stay here, or begin to kick left foot in the left hand, making sure it fires that left glute up. Keep the chest lifted and the gaze lifted. That really helps with the balance. And find your dancer on this side. And change. Not very far for me today, but it is what it is each day. We'll come back to the back of the mat now for balancing stick. Back of the mat. Back of the mat, your body is square to the front. Inhale, arms up overhead. Release the index fingers so you've got that steeple grip like we were doing before. And remember, shoulders away from the ears, chest lifted, but belly still pulled in. Step out on the left foot. Come up high on the right toes. And just find a nice strong line between your fingertips and your back toes. And hold that line as you lift the right back leg and your upper body lowers as your leg lifts. So keep the straight line, whether that is more of a vertical position from the mat, a diagonal, or all the way down into more of the shape of the letter T in a horizontal line from fingertips to toes. Belly in, stretch that out and change. Drop the right back foot, step the left to meet, and then we just step right forward on the right. I'm going to change the cross of my fingers here. I encourage you to do the same. Just change the grip And let the other hand be on top now. Lift the chest, come up high off those back left toes, and just remember to keep that straight line going. Energy from the fingertips of that steeple grip through the chest and belly, all the way to the toes, whether that is a more vertical line, the diagonal. You just come back and forth and play with how far that strong right standing leg will hold you. Find your balancing stick. And this is really another version of Warrior 3 in Vinyasa. And change. Step left foot back, right foot meets left. Inhale, arms up a bit. Exhale, let it go. So here's another great spot for a drink. And also a roll out of the shoulders. That balancing stick is kind of hard. Asks our shoulders to be a bit tense. I've got not only sand on my yoga mat as usual from the dogs, but I'm also finding specks of white paint from painting the studio. I've got white paint all over me and probably will for the next week or so. Here's a plug. Swell Yoga Studio is now online with a website on Facebook, Swell Yoga Studio in Half Moon Bay, and on Instagram, swell.yoga.studio. So find us there and follow, and we're having fun posting renovations. So keep up that way if you want. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, we're coming to the other side of our mat for the next set of poses here, beginning with separate leg stretching. So front of the mat, feet together, arms together, palms out. Take a breath and inhale, arms up. As you exhale, step the feet out, about a leg length, arms out to a T here. Toes face the front, hips square. Micro bend the knees. In fact, if you want to take a bend side to side, you'll feel this nice stretch in the ankles and Achilles, and it just kind of lubricates the knees and hips a bit. Square it back up, micro bend the knees as you begin a forward fold, leading with the chest and sending the booty back. So it's a hip hinge. And you can take the stretch here again, bending the knees at that halfway position if you want. Arms can stay out at the T. It really helps keep the core turned on. And then when you're about halfway down or more, keep going with the chest if you want, but you can maintain a straight spine, and then you can drop the arms. So arms can find a bind around, they can either rest on the floor or on blocks in front of you if you want. They can rest on your calves if you want, your shins. And depending on where your body will let you go, just keep going with that grip. And wherever you find a grip with your hands around your legs or feet, that will help you pull your upper body towards the floor, or even turning the gaze. Once you've let the head and neck go, the gaze can go behind you, between your legs, and that pull will lift the hips. Think of lifting the hips towards the ceiling as your upper body comes down. So find your fold today. Make the adjustments you need. And breathe. Okay, change. Let's come up to the halfway point, and if you'd like to really fire up the core and arms, keep them out to that T as you lift yourself up. Bring everything together to the front top of the mat, and then exhale it all down. And let's move in a triangle. Inhale, arms up. Step everything out once more, same position we were before. Take a breath here, get yourself set, and then turn the right toes out to the side and bend the right knee. And if you need to kind of work it a few times back and forth to find your stance, you just want that knee stacked up over the ankle. Your stance does not need to be as wide as mine. And one way to find a little more depth without having to really stretch your legs out too far is just to take that opposite side, the strong standing leg, and mindfully, sometimes I just take my hand on my hip and bring it down, bring that part of the body down, and that helps you widen out that stance a bit if you're aiming for that. So stay right here. This is really more of a warrior two in vinyasa. If you stay here, otherwise you can tick-tock the arms. And what Bikram calls this triangle is also an extended side angle in vinyasa. So find your positioning here, lower your body down if you want, that arm along the calf on the right. And finally, final expression, it can feel really good, is a bit of a spinal twist, looking up towards the raised left arm. Okay, change. This is such a strong, strengthening posture. It's really considered the peak posture in Bikram. So now we'll turn the toes out so that right are facing the front, left face the side. Find that stance on the left. And again, once you've found where you think your peak is, if you want to take it a little further, bring that right hip down and just let gravity pull it down. Knee is over the ankle on the left. Here's basically what's warrior two in vinyasa. We can tick-tock the arms at 6 and 12, and then keep lowering down left arm along left calf. For the Bikram triangle or in vinyasa, it's really more of the extended side angle. The only difference there is that rather than having the arm in the same line as the leg, it is straight up towards the ceiling. And that spinal twist at the end, if you look up at the lifted arm, that can feel really good. I always get an automatic chiropractic adjustment in myself when I do that twist. And change. Come on back to the T, and then bring everything together in one motion and let it go. Let's move into separate leg standing, head to knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step the legs out, keep hands together overhead. Legs out, not quite as far as before, and hands are in prayer. So make prayer with your hands, cross one thumb over the other, and turn everything over towards the right. Everything square to face one direction as you bend that front right knee and begin to fold your upper body over the front leg, hands in prayer. They can separate at the floor or on blocks if you want. If you want to work on balance, keep them in prayer and let those pinkies rest down on the mat. Bend the knee as much as you need to on the front. And if you want to go head to knee, tuck the chin towards the chest and bend the knee as much as you need to meet your forehead. Bend that knee, and then if you want to straighten and go back and forth with bent and straight, that really stretches that hamstring on the right side. Change, inhale, come on up. Turn everything over to the opposite direction. Just make a full twist now. And just like we did before, change the thumb that's on top in your prayer hands, just to kind of keep things interesting. Arms have been engaged this whole time. Now we're going to bend the front left knee and dive over that front leg. Use control, core strength. You can separate the hands and let them rest on blocks if you want. Separate them on your mat, or if you want to work on balance, keep them together. I'm really not going far on this side today. Hips square. Bend that knee as much as you need to. That's really what's going to help me get down, is to bend the knee more than I normally do. And if you want to go head to knee, just tuck the chin to your chest, bend the knee as much as you need to get the forehead to the knee. Okay, change. Inhale up. Bring everything together to the top and let the arms go. That's one of my favorites, really, that separate leg head to knee. It's really similar to pyramid if you're used to doing vinyasa. And it's challenging, but man, such a good stretch, especially if you're a runner or cyclist or involved in something that gives you such tight hamstrings. Okay, let's move into our tree, the final standing posture before we go to the ground. Take a breath, find some stillness here. And I think we're going to start with the left leg lifted and balancing on the right. So just come up high on your left toes, windshield wiper, your hip crease there. And just lift your foot whenever you're ready and find that connection between the lifted foot and the standing strong leg. This is the basics for tree. If you want to bring hands to heart center in prayer, if you want to move more into the bikram tree, you're going to catch that left foot in your right hand. I'm not sure what I want today, so I'm playing with things, but find your own tree, what works for you. I think I'm going to stay here. And I will quiet down so that we can have a quiet breath for this tree. Okay, let's let that go. Left leg down. We're going to stand strong on the left leg now, windshield wiper the right. As I see myself wobble in the computer in front of me, I'm just thinking about how differently, if you see a posture on Instagram, it's someone who's gotten into it and is able to hold it and click one still motion, as opposed to the work and wobbling and falling out it takes to get into it, which is really all I am demonstrating lately, it feels like. Okay, so find your tree on the other side. And I'll quiet down. Okay, great. Change. Go ahead and let that go. Take a drink of water if you want, or just go straight to your back for Shavasana. And lie on your back in Shavasana. Take a nice deep breath, and we'll move into the floor part. I've had, looks like at least one other person hop on, and I just want to say I started about 10 minutes late, and we're definitely going to go over today, probably ending about 9:15 Pacific time. So it's 8:53 right now. And probably many of you are joining later in the day. So if that's the case, welcome, no matter what time it is. Okay, let's move into our first posture on the floor, wind removing pose. Inhale, right knee up towards your chest. Take a nice grip on that shin and just pull the knee in towards the chest and add an angle a bit towards the armpit and down the side ribs. So pull that in and you'll feel kind of a stretching and opening in the pelvis here as the left leg turns on and is engaged and strong. So you're kind of pulling two different directions with your hips. Feel that pinch in the right hip crease as you pull the knee in, and then an opening on the left side. Okay, let that right leg go. Bring the left knee in. And we're going to do the opposite now. So hang on the shin on the left, feel a pinch in the left hip crease, and as you fire up the right leg like it's standing, you begin to feel an opening there. Pull the left knee in towards the chest and then down towards the armpit and side of it, and feel that stretching apart. And change. Let the left leg go. Bring both knees up towards the chest. You can rock a bit from side to side. Get a little free massage on your lower back and hip crease on the side. But then we are going to land with a nice straight spine, knees in towards the chest, tuck the chin towards the chest to lengthen the spine behind the neck, and just pull in on the knees, but try to keep one straight line from your tailbone all the way up your neck, a straight spine down on the mat. And change. Let that go. Relax your legs down. This is Shavasana. Stay right here for a nice breath. Know where to be. Just feel a little relief right now. Completely surrender those limbs. And then we fire it back up for a sit-up. So inhale, arms overhead. Skip this if you have back problems, or just avoid sit-ups. Otherwise, exhale 2 audible breaths as you sit up. Come around and touch the toes for a quick hamstring stretch, and then we turn around onto the belly for cobra. So down on the belly, legs zipped up together, chin rest on the mat, and palms plant under your shoulders. Spread the fingers, and then on exhale, everything out. On an inhale, slowly peel your upper body off the mat, roll the shoulders away from the ears, peel the upper body off, use your lower back strength to keep yourself lifted, chest lifts, legs are strong, glued together. You can even lift the fingers here to make sure you're using lower body. Lift, lift, lift. And change. Let everything just collapse down onto the ground for belly down Shavasana. Just turn your left cheek down on the mat. And breathe here, belly down Shavasana. And we'll move into half locust. So flip the palms so that they are down on the mat. Rock the hips side to side and tuck those palms under your hips like you're bumping a volleyball under your hips there. Turn chin square to the mat. Upper body completely relaxed on the mat, and just lift the right leg. Right leg is the only thing lifting and engaged. Left leg's totally soft. Lift the right leg. Point the toes. Feel someone pull that leg out straight behind you to find length, and then more lift. And change. Let the right leg go. Let everything relax except for the left leg now lifts. Find lift. Feel your palms press into the mat. Now imagine someone's pulling that leg behind you so that you also find some length, and then a little more lift. And change. Let that go. Scooch the fingertips towards your knees as much as you can, and now take your face so that instead of your chin being on the mat, your mouth is, to protect the neck. Kiss the mat with your lips and lift both legs up off the mat using your lower body strength. And change. Let that go. Let your arms come out. Relax. Right cheek down on the mat now for belly down Shavasana. Take a breath. And let's move into full locust. So in the next inhale, inhale arms up like airplane wings coming straight out from your shoulders. Zip up that cobra tail once more that we had before. Chin is on the mat. Exhale all the air out. Feel heavy on the mat. Inhale, lift everything off the mat. Chest off the mat, shoulders away from the ears. The gaze is just kind of neutral, but you don't want to look up too high because that'll create a crunch in the back of your neck. And then lift those legs, lift the body. The only thing pressing down on the mat right now is your hips. Lift and let it go. Left cheek on the mat, belly down Shavasana. Take a breath. And we've really warmed up our spines enough for floor bow, which is such a fun posture. I love any posture that uses a bind like this. So bend the knees, bring the heels back towards the booty. And again, we've really worked towards this already. So just lift the chest, heels towards the booty. If you don't have that bind I'm talking about, where you can reach back and grab your feet with your hands, just stay right here and work on this strengthening and flexibility. If you do have it, reach back, find your feet. Begin floor both, feet together, knees together. Everything square in one line. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, kick back into those feet and lift chest off the mat, thighs off the mat. Kick, 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 feet into hands, lift. You can rock a bit on your belly. And you want to make the shape of a teardrop. So really think of kicking the feet towards the ceiling rather than just straight back. And change. Lower the legs, drop the hands, and then right cheek is on the mat for belly down Shavasana. Nice deep breath, let it go. Let's move into a push-up here. So plant the palms under your shoulders, spread the fingers, flip the toes, push yourself up nice and strong into a nice strong plank at the top. Then you can bend the knees and walk forward to the front of your mat. So we're moving into fixed firm. So knees are together at the front of the mat, but feet are going to open a bit, enough to let your hips sink down. So go ahead. I like to move the tissue from my calves back and let your hips come down, resting on a block or a pillow or a blanket if you need to. And find some breath here. Find your fixed fern here. If you'd like to, you can press your hands against your feet and lower back down onto elbows and stay right here. Or if you want to take it a little further, come back down all the way to the ground. Your knees may separate a bit. If the front of your ankles and the top of your feet are bothering you, you can always tuck a blanket or towel under them for this pose. It is a really tremendous stretch on the front of the ankles, and we don't often do that. So it's common for that to be uncomfortable in this posture. If you're all the way back, as I am on your back, you will have a lift. This is a back bend, a slight back bend going on in your lower back. So to come out of that safely, come up first on your elbows, using that connection from hands to feet. Really pull the belly button in and activate the core as you come up all the way out of fixed fern and onto your back for Shavasana. Lie down on your back here. Let everything go. Anything that that posture brought up just now, let it go. That can be a confusing and challenging one. That's kind of a harder one to do, I think, to try to teach online rather than just being in person with someone. Okay, let's do that yoga sit up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Grab onto those toes quickly and then come onto the back of your mat, onto your knees. Again, if you like to have a blanket or towel for these postures where we are on our knees and sitting back on our heels like this, please do. I'm noticing it's kind of dark in the video. The video quality is kind of dark today. It's kind of overcast. It's a little sad because we've had so much sun and it's been great. But we have an overcast day today in Half Moon Bay, which is really more of how people associate the weather to be here. But it's making the video a little dark today. Anyhow, sitting back on our heels here. Inhale, arms overhead. We're headed into half tortoise. So arms overhead, prayer hands, cross one thumb over the other, pull the belly in and relax the shoulders away from the ears, and just lead with your chest, dive over those bent knees, and think of getting your forehead or nose to the mat first. And then your arms, which really opens up the armpits. And with those prayer hands, you've got blades of your pinkies together. Press the blade of those pinkies into the mat. That will really
Engage and lift the forearms off the mat, open the armpits. Last thing to think about here is that your hips are heavy on your heels, such a good spine stretch. Take a breath, let it go, and then inhale yourself back up. Core strength here, arms overhead the whole time until you reach the top, and then let those arms go finally. Turn around, lie down on your back for Shavasana. Take a breath here. Those open mouth exhales can be great because it just gives you audible feedback of that breath. Let's move into a yoga sit-up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes, turn around, come to the front of your mat for camel. Onto your knees, and knees are hip width apart here, so don't keep your knees together. Hip width apart, heels straight behind you, parallel line. Your calves are in a parallel line and your thighs are in a parallel line together for camel. Lift the chest, put your hands in imaginary back pockets of your yoga pants. And last thing here, check in, is elbows come together like there's a string pulling them together. And then just push those hips out with your hands as you inhale, chest up. So every exhale, think of pushing the hips out with your hands. Every inhale, lift the chest. That creates more of a lift in your spine so that this isn't a complete crunch of a back bend. Breathe here. I normally put a block between my inner thighs, and I don't have one today, so I'm just going to imagine there's a block between my inner thighs and that they're squeezing it. And head and neck can go. Hang down if you want and look at the whatever's behind you. And if you want to reach back and find your heels with your hands, go for it. Just make sure those hips can really stay pushed out towards the front, and there's some kind of lift still happening in the spine. And wherever you are, safely change, come out of that with care, slow, core strength. Sit back for a minute if you need to just kind of collect your head and not get lightheaded if you need to before you lay down for Shavasana. Down on your back. Deep breath here. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes, come around to the back of the mat for half tortoise. So just like we were before when we went into, we're here for rabbit. So just like we were for half tortoise, we're at the back of the mat for rabbit, sitting back comfortably on the heels. I'll just pause for a minute in case you need to bring a towel or blanket under those ankles. And find the heels with your fingertips, or your feet with your fingertips. We're going to lead this fold with our chins. So start with the chin and tuck it to your chest. Now you've got a gaze down between your thighs, and just keep curling down and moving that gaze towards your belly button. Imagine or see your belly button. Pull in and in towards your spine as you round over those legs. Forehead past the knees, crown of the head on the ground. And now you find a grip with your hands around your heels, and just use that grip to pull your hips up towards the ceiling. Total rounding of the spine here. Pull that belly in. Shoulders away from the ears, hips high. And change. Come back out of it the same way you came in, unrounding all of that one section at a time, using your chin to be last. And turn around and lie down on your back for Shavasana. Deep inhale, open mouth exhale. And we move into a sit-up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up.
Come around to the front of the mat for separate leg stretching. So your left leg is bent in towards you, the foot towards the groin, and right leg is out. Sit square on the mat, so you might have to move the tissue and just feel that you're equally, both sides of your glutes are equally on the mat. Sit up nice and tall here and just use this to be the stretch if you'd like. You want to take it a little further. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist and fold. Lead with the chest over that right leg and bend the right knee as much as you need to connect belly or chest with your leg. Instead of rounding the spine, I'm keeping a straight spine and leading with my chest. And once you've made that connection, then you can get a bit of rounding going by letting the head and neck go. Maybe rest the head on the knee, and if that seems like a stretch to you, just bend the knee as much as you need to rest the head. Okay, change. Let's switch sides here. Bring that right knee in, left leg out. Again, center yourself so that you're just sitting square on your buns. Feel both sit bones under you. And stay right here if this is enough of a stretch for you. With that nice strong left leg, curl the toes back towards you, and that really turns on the calf and gives you even more of a stretch. So stay there, or you can inhale finally, exhale, twist first, and then fold, lead with the chest. And again, bend that knee as much as you need to connect the chest or forehead with the knee, rather than rounding your spine. So I think sometimes people are used to trying to keep the leg straight, and it causes their backs to round to connect. You don't need to do that. You can bend that knee, and that will really be stretching what you want to be stretching rather than causing any kind of hypermobility that can hurt your back. So find that stretch on this side. I do let some rounding happening once I've reached kind of my peak here. The rounding happens when I let my head and neck go and let the head rest on the knee. And work towards, the longer you hold this, the more you can kind of work towards straightening your leg a bit more. Okay, let's come out of that. Inhale up. Straighten both legs now, just straight in front of you. Move the tissue once more so you're square on your sit bones, legs out, bend or curl those toes back towards your face. That'll give you even more of a stretch. And stay right here, hamstring stretch right here, or inhale, finally, exhale, lead with the chest. And find a connection, whether that's your hands touching anywhere along your legs or your toes. As I always say, bend your knees as much as you need to keep your spine straight. Change, go ahead and come on up. I've got some dogs wrestling outside behind me. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but that's what that noise is. We're headed into final spinal. So keep that left knee bent and cross the right leg over the left. If you want to have the left leg straight because of any sort of knee or hip injury, the bottom leg can be straight. The top leg bends over. And press into the mat with the top foot. The foot that's on top, press into the mat, creates a bit of an opening on the right there. And then we're just going to twist towards the top leg, the hip crease of the top leg. Lead the twist with the belly rather than the neck or head or eyes. Find that twist. Relax your neck by just nodding your head and even maybe dropping the chin towards the shoulder behind you. That really lets the neck and head relax in this twist. Then we can move it to the other side. So untwist and fold out of that. This time we've got the right leg underneath. You can keep that leg straight if you want, or have it bent as you cross the left on top, left leg, left foot pushes into the mat. Feel that opening that creates on the left side of the outside of the left hip. And then find your twist with your arms over to the side, the left now, the side of the top leg, the hip. And find that twist. Keep the chest lifted and proud and tall, and then just relax the head by nodding or shaking, and then maybe even think of your chin dropping towards the back shoulder. Okay, let's come out of that. Excellent. I'm going to take a sip of water, lead us into breath of fire, and then a 2-minute Shavasana. That should have us done at 20 minutes after the hour. Completely late today. So sorry. You only have to put up with it for 2 more days after this. Okay. Find a comfortable position for breath of fire. If you need to take a few practice rounds of breath, remember on an exhale, that loud, audible exhale, like blowing out a candle, the belly snaps in. So I make that connection, hands on the belly, and feel that snapping in as I blow the air out. So practice a few times if you need to. Let the hands drop and relax when you think you've got it. That really helps to relax the shoulders away, keeps chest lifted, and this is some belly work here. So let's inhale here together. An open mouth, loud exhale. Let it all go. Inhale one more time, about halfway. Little sip of air, and we'll begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all go. And excellent work. That's it. That's our 26 postures. So I'd love to have you join me for a 2-minute Shavasana. Take a sip of water now. I might shut the door so that we don't quite hear those dogs as loudly. Just lie back on your mat. I'll let you know when the 2 minutes have been up, so you don't need to worry about checking the time or going over any more than we already are. If you have more than 2 minutes, certainly stay for as long as you want. But this is just such an important part of the practice. We begin our practice with that really mindful, deep breathing and arrival. And this is a way to bookend it and close it with a thoughtful lying down and deep breathing and giving ourselves a little space before we rush off to the next thing in our day. So just let everything go heavy. Take some nice deep breaths. And let the body go really still and let the mind just wander. We've made such conscious, strong, intentional connections this whole time with the mind and body, and this Shavasana is a chance to let those two things kind of separate. The body just collapses and the mind is free to wander away. So yogi friends, believe it or not, it's been 2 minutes. It goes so fast. If you're ready to come out of Shavasana with me, just blink open your eyes, maybe take a good morning stretch, lifting your arms over your head, or just wiggle your fingers and toes, whatever you need to do. If you are staying in Shavasana, just ignore everything. Don't let me interrupt you. We're going to find our way to a comfortable seated position. Thank you for joining me this Monday morning. I will be back here again on Wednesday for the same class, and on Friday, same time, 8 a.m. Pacific, but for a vinyasa class. And that will be the final live stream for Red Pants Yoga. But I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just doing a little more work on Swell Yoga Studio. Physical location now for me to take this teaching and practice. I'm excited about that. So please, again, one more plug. It's online now, swellyogastudio.com, swell.yoga.studio on Instagram, and Swell Yoga Studio on Facebook. So find me there. Please share the information with anyone who might be interested. Thank you so much for your support here at Red Pants Yoga. This has been such an awesome learning experience and stepping stone into this newer endeavor. And one step at a time, and they all lead somewhere. So I'm so grateful to be here and be doing Red Pants. This has been so special. And it's bittersweet week for it to be closing. So anyhow, thank you for your support. I will see you back here on Wednesday. And I hope you all have a good week. Namaste to you. The light teacher and student in me sees, honors, acknowledges the light student and teacher in each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Namaste. Bye, you guys. I'll see you Wednesday.